Hey there, everyone! Quick rundown here. Wondering if anyone else has experienced something like this in the past, or if maybe I'm just going crazy. I work in hospital security and have had some strange stuff happen in the last few months. Though I'd start my account of what happened and see what others have seen. Posting my journal entries and experiences. Hope to hear from y'all soon. Many nights are the same here, as I've spent years assisting the hospital's emergency department. People came in and out, ranging from gruesome suicide attempts to the casual cold. I thought I'd seen it all. This was until about a month or so ago, when I encountered some strange things that changed my perspective on how the living and the dead operate. The ER was as busy as it could be, considering it was a late 4th of July night. Injuries aplenty from those who drank profusely and decided to test their limits with explosives. In my routine, I would assist the life flight crew with any serious trauma patients and escort the crew and doctors to the elevator to the operating room. This same event happened that night, and I prepared all my necessary steps to ensure a smooth transition between the helicopter and the OR. A man, 72, had fallen 3 stories while working on some shoddy scaffolding, and upon seeing his body off the flight, the details of his face, eyes, and hair were hard to discern from one another. Numb to the gruesome sight, I helped move the man to the OR. Unfortunately, he was also attempting to speak the entire time since his arrival, spewing blood in faces as he tried his hardest to finish whatever he was saying. To me, at least, I felt as though I was the only one who could understand him. Convergence. Weird to say the least, but it didn't really pass my mind what he meant until later on. As far as the rest of my day, it ultimately went on without any more events. I finished my shift and quickly found myself at home. I fell asleep soon after. I dreamt what I can only describe as something beyond my understanding. The old man's face was so clearly stamped on my brain that I felt as though I stared at him for hours before, although I knew it was just mere seconds. Convergence echoed through my thoughts as I found myself stuck in this nightmare. The flesh from his face horrified me the longer I was forced to look at it. The blood was pouring from what looked like a blossom of viscera. 2 eyes found their way into the center, like the stigma of a flower. Meanwhile, the shards of teeth and tufts of hair visible look as if they're trying to find a way out of that fleshy hell. After what seemed like hours, the dream ended with the scent of oranges. Something unexpected yet welcomed after the horror witnessed by my eyes. July 5th came. This time, an ambulance was called to dispatch. A woman, 19, a hiker who came across an unfortunate situation. Mountain lion attack. As soon as we loaded her onto the stretcher from the ambulance, we could see the extent of her injuries. Torn apart. Blood was leaking out of what ended up being most of her torso. Her body was mangled and ripped apart. Face also found itself unrecognizable. I couldn't help but feel uneasy. While assisting her to the OR, I was met with more words. They were almost clearer than the old man's, despite her condition being arguably worse. The cycle of convergence is near. The words caused me to stop and wonder what was happening to me. She was completely unconscious until that point. After her words, she convulsed and began to go into shock. This brought me to call my supervisor and fake being sick to go home a bit early. I needed rest after what I witnessed, of which I didn't get. My home felt emptier than normal. Spaces felt tighter. So tight I felt like a cave diver with my lungs pressed up against the rocks, lack of real oxygen making my brain feel fuzzy and disoriented. I wasn't someone who couldn't stomach the imagery or gore, especially after becoming desensitized to it after so long. I remember back when I started, I would find myself in the bathroom and vomit after seeing that. Heart racing and my mind ultimately finding itself a place right next to a panic attack. It was long enough ago, and now I've become numb to the horrors of it. After entering my room, the whole place made me feel like I couldn't breathe, and my chest felt unable to expand with my breathing, making me fly into a panic. Slamming my chest, attempting a strange ritual of CPR compressions, trying to revive myself as if I were already dead. 30 minutes late, my breath came back in a harsh explosion of force. My ribcage battered and bruised. I managed to end my panic and began to calm down. My night was long. Except it had only been about 45 minutes since I'd gotten home at 7 p.m. I was exhausted. Soon, I fell asleep not too long after my self-repair. Again, a shocking dream came to me. One that felt all too familiar. I was on a gurney, strapped in and unable to speak. Blurry vision and pain unimaginable all over, tearing through me like a fire. My bones ached, and my skin felt loose and unfitting. I then realized as I cleared my vision slightly, I was the woman on the gurney from the night before. Doctors, security, and staff were pushing me to the OR where I'd find a permanent stay. I tried to scream out in either pain or to see if I even could. I soon came to a stop, and hours seemed to pass in the agony of it all. Then I saw it. A light. The one they talk about at the end times. When your life meets an end. Except this wasn't the experience I expected, while I would pass. The bright light turned into a pathway quickly. My body restored as I made my way through it. Depictions of this place seemed horrifically inaccurate. I couldn't tell if it was heaven, hell, or something in between. The arches supposedly made of gold were something entirely different. Made from what I could only describe as cobbled stone and eyes that never closed on their own. The floor was in clouds or something even remotely resembling any flooring I'd encountered. Covered in what looked like sores and feathers. Disgustingly soft and delicate. The finale was upon me. The gates of the arches tore themselves apart, allowing me entry. When all the eyes from the arches stared intently at me. Soon, a being made its way down from above. Its presence was something to behold. In a sky of reds and purples, a solid gold idol came down on feathered wings. Spherical yet sharp, rotating with eyes surrounding each part of it. A being that looked physically impossible found its way to me. It spoke a few words. You're not ready for convergence yet. You've still got much to learn. I was then thrown back into the body on the operating table. I woke in my bed in a cold sweat. And so here I am writing this post a few months later. I've been keeping a dream journal to update everyone, once or if something else happens. Until then, feel free to ask any questions. I've done my best to write everything, but I'm aware that I also might have missed some things.